year is 2020. To many people, the start of a new decade is the start of a bright future. But for certain railroads, it was a spell of doom. For the last couple years, precision scheduled railroading has been spreading like a virus. It started on Canadian National when Hunter Harrison was in charge, which since found its way to Canadian Pacific and then to CSX. After Hunter Harrison's death in late 2017, it looked like they had seen the last of PSR, but they hadn't. NS and UP adopted it in 2018, followed by KCS. From the time each railroad adopted PSR, engines were slowly being forced onto deadlines or sailed to shortline or leasing companies. Jobs have declined, and trains have been lengthened, some abolished entirely. But the engines don't realize that their worst nightmare is right upon them. Now this is the life. Cool winds blowing in our faces, watching the countryside zip along. I love this life.
Yeah, this is fun. Oh, look, rail fans! Give them a horn show, Lily!
I love seeing them.
So glad I'm not one of them.
What are you doing, Hewlett?
I'm playing Euro Truck Simulator and I'm driving a Scania.
Scanias are boring. Kenworths are better.
So are Peterbilts.
Those are cool too, but I like Scanias and other European vehicles best.
Submarines are better than 18-wheelers. My favorites are the Virginia class, which are fast attack submarines.
All semi-trucks suck. Buses are the best.
Buses are lame, Spencer. I even heard Amtrak has better service than Greyhound.
They have better service than airlines too, especially Delta. Semi-trucks are cooler than buses. No, they're not.
Yes, they are, stupid spans.
Submarines are the best. So are ferry boats, ocean liners, battleships, aircraft carriers, canoes.
We'll just say that aside from trains, military vehicles are the best, especially tanks.
What about NASA?
They decommissioned the space shuttle program.
Yeah? So what?
Driving legend in the South today. A man called Bandit from Atlanta, GA. Every year, gentleman knows his name. They swear he's got eyes for the running in his veins. A foot like lead and nerves like steel. He's going up to glory riding 18 wheels. Oh, tell me.
Oh yeah? Well, how about you get retired and export to Argentina, you useless engine pain like a smelly skunk?
No, Ben! Fighting back isn't going to help!
Just not. Sorry.
What movie do you want to watch tonight?
How about we watch Christine?
Okay. Then we can watch Apollo 13 next.
Then maybe next time we can watch A Bridge Too Far or Saving Private Ryan.
Just where will you get your movies from? Blockbuster closed down almost all of their stores.
Who said anything about Blockbuster? We can have a crewman run to Walmart.
Good point. See you in Norfolk.
Hey, Nicholas. How is everything?
Everything is... A-okay.
That's a good one.
Wrong. The top speed of the M3 Stewart tank was 36 miles per hour on the road and 18 miles per hour off-road.
Well, you know your war facts. I don't know as much.
Well, if there's anything you can teach me, it's how to cook mac and cheese. Now, Lily, if the blue house is north, the green house is south, and the red house is east, where's the White House?
I don't know.
It's in Washington, D.C.
Oh!
And the Challenger on live TV went kaboom!
Eli, you bonehead! Some engines I knew were watching it live and they were shocked. When will you stop joking about serious events?
keep doing that again, I'll shove you into a pile of dynamite.
Stop joking about stuff that shouldn't be joked about, or draw 25.
What do you mean we're getting retired soon? I'm sorry, I'm just the messenger. Courtney and Horace talked when going through Homestead earlier. I gotta go. My crew's already bummed about having to work during this pandemic, and I just want to go and rest.
I'm telling you, Josiah, I haven't seen traffic levels this low since the 2008 recession.
That's PSR for ya.
It's only useful when you're a shareholder and are a part of Wall Street.
Things are looking awful for us right now. Of course, harmony will only last during peace times.
Just then, Holmes arrived.
Hey Holmes, surprised to see you here. How's Alex?
I don't know. He left our manifest to Portland a few days ago, and that's the last time he was heard from. I feel like PSR is getting worse and worse on my railroad. A little while ago, they laid off a single mom with cancer. That made me so mad.
I heard about that. That was horrible of them. PSR's not all the trouble, though. PDC as well. So many trains have been having trouble with their PDC devices. Many times they have to call the PDC desk who tells them to turn it off and run without it.
And of course, that's why Evelyn and Raymond were placed into long-term storage by Bennett Levin. Equipping them with PTC is too costly.
Sean, I need you to take a freight train to Roanoke. Ugh, that place. 2 years ago, their deadline had a bunch of leasers. Now it's mostly our own power. And if you guys hadn't heard, NS just closed the Roanoke shops. All major repair work has to be done at Altoona now. Sean got his train ready and set off. Along the way, he spotted Ben in a deadline.
Psst, Sean.
Ben, what are you doing here?
I'm in storage, Sean. Management says I'm a surplus.
I know your antics got a lot of us in trouble before, but I did see potential in you.
Sean sat there for a long time, conflicted about whether to leave Ben or get him out. He sat there for so long that he didn't realize Marie was flying at high speed. With a dispatcher being overworked and sleep deprived, he didn't set Marie's signal to red. Marie passed the green signals, not knowing it would be a costly mistake. She didn't see Sean until she rounded the bend, and it was too late.
Oh God! Get out of the way, Sean!
Ben can only awake to the sight of devastation all around him. The left side of Marie's nose was smashed and her right side was full of dents and gashes.
Oh no, Marie, are you okay?
Oh no.
Mr. Edwards arrived at the scene. What in the hell happened? One of you better have a damn good explanation.
This is all my fault, so I got distracted and stopped.
Sean, you idiot! That is an amateur mistake! You were more careful than that before! So what this also means is, Marie didn't obey the red signal? That too is a rookie mistake! Even new engines can abide by signal rules. Marie was too battered to speak, so her engineer, brutally injured, spoke on her behalf.
Sir, listen.
Silence!
No, listen!
Don't you backtalk me!
The signal was green, sir! Will you please listen? The last signal we passed before the accident was green!
Oh. So this was a dispatcher's error? The investigation team will get to the bottom of this. A few days passed, and the engines were waiting for news. Even Lilium and Michael heard the news after they were sold to their new owners.
I'm glad to report that there were no fatalities. From the looks of how things were, it's a miracle.
Thank God. What about Marie? Is she okay?
That's the sad part. She's a total loss in a state of disrepair. She's been sent to Crescent Steel for scrapping.
The engines were shocked and saddened. Nobody could bear to lose a friend, especially a close friend for engines like Lily and Lilium. Marie, no. She may have been annoying, but she was a great friend. I always loved talking about world history and stuff with her. She didn't deserve to die like this.
Why did it have to be her? My travel partner, and one of my best friends.
It took days, and for some engines, weeks to recover from losing Marie. Nobody could be certain what their futures would hold for them.
Now that Marie's gone, I've lost both of my best friends. Lilam just barely recovered from her battles with Zomboss when management told her and Michael that they were being sold. It was hard saying goodbye to her and to other friends who were retired before us over this last year.
I know, Lily. It's been some tough times for all of us. I've lost other members of my class to retirements. Just makes you wonder how long until you'll be next.
Eli, I'm so sorry about Marie.
Me too. Don't worry. There are plenty of fish in the sea.
But Ben, there's no one else like her. She would laugh at my jokes that annoyed Nicholas, and she was willing to keep an eye on you so that you wouldn't cause more trouble.
From what I've heard, Sean's been sent to Altoona to be repaired.
He must not be living it down very well.
Hey, what are you doing out of your storage sightings? Get back there.
In the words of Scooby-Doo, ruh-roh!
And the word of Yosemite Sam, shut up.
I can't believe he and Albert Fudd don't get to use guns in the new show!
Just retreat, you fictitious locomotive. Stop your babbling and let's get out of here.
Watch out, Eli!
Damn it. Gosh damn it. And I was only a few years away, too. What's going on? Business continues declining. We've been ordered to close this yard down. We've been evicted. It's all over. No! No! This can't be! We've had one of the longest runs ever! Get a hold of yourself! There's nothing I can do about this. It comes from up top. And I'm retiring early. No! You can't! I'm sorry. I don't have a choice. I won't be completing my World War II scrapbook after all.
What?
But what about your caboose? It's not mine anymore. It's been confiscated by management and sold for scrap. For real this time. No. And after we worked so hard to save it. I know. I'm no happier about this than you all are. You engines were more than railroad equipment to me. You guys were like family. Especially after the time in 1984.
Wesley, phone call. It's from your wife.
Thank you.
You alright, Wesley?
Yeah, I'm more than alright.
If it ain't too personal, what'd your wife call about?
She's pregnant. With our first child.
Whoa, really? That's amazing, Wesley! I'm so happy for you! Congratulations!
Hey guys, Wesley's gonna be a father! Let's hear it for our fellow engineer!
Let's hear it for Wesley! Woohoo! Yeah! Congratulations again, Wesley! Woohoo!
gonna miss you, and I'm gonna miss all of you too. Trust me, working with each and every one of you is the best part of my life. I wish you all the best of luck. Knowing what times are like these days, your future may depend on it. I can't believe he's gone. He's been a role model to me all these years. He was the reason I started liking the military. Nicholas and Lily were in shock. They felt like they were about to cry when Holmes showed up.
Did you hear what happened to Eli?
No.
He's dead.
What?
Yep. Caleb told me he got destroyed while trying to escape the deadline.
This can't be. First Marie, now Eli? Now I know we're really heading to our doom. Why does this have to happen?
I don't care how annoying Eli was. He was always our friend.
I know he was really annoying. His voice sounded like Mickey Mouse. He occasionally made dirty jokes like that UPS truck's mating joke, and disrespected E. Hunter Harrison's death in 2017, and all his unfunny and annoying jokes he made, and joked about other things we shouldn't joke about, like the coronavirus. But he was still a friend.
Didn't he attack someone on Instagram back in 2017?
And nothing more was said. Highland Valley's yard was closed and the mountain branch was abandoned, though there had been talk among investors about converting it into a bicycle path. Either way, it was deemed unnecessary with the coal decline, and using it as a tourist route didn't generate enough revenue. This factor was taken into consideration before Lilium and Michael were auctioned off. Until the property was sold, the yard had been used as a deadline.
Even with a DPU, this train is heavy.
Because they think it's more efficient to haul longer and less trains than shorter and more trains. Railroads try to put up more effective tactics, even if that puts hell on the rest of us.
Yeah, but CSX should be realizing their mistake with PSR. I wish we could go back to how things were in 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, I wasn't around then.
I feel the pain. I feel your pain. What are you doing?
Making sure you don't leave your quarters. Now move it.
In fact, we got orders to take you to another storage yard tomorrow morning.
Was the trip?
It wasn't horrible. The engines weren't rough on us, but the only sound we heard besides our engines running was Ben complaining.
I don't even want to know what Altoona and Roanoke look like.
Probably a big mess.
Where even is this place?
All I know is that it's 60 miles south of Fort Wayne. A friend told me this used to be a munitions plant from World War II until just after the Gulf War. Wouldn't shock me if they still have weapons and bullets locked up somewhere.
Man, look at us. All this time we've been competing against semis, planes, and ships, and now we've been tossed aside while our railroad destroys itself and its engines get corrupted. Never in my life have I felt so worthless.
One more dusty road would be just a road too long.
I just can't seem to get started. Don't have the heart to live in the fast lane. All that is past and gone.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Hurt me while I plan it. reservation. Who would believe they would love me and leave on a bus like the world's free? Once in the Indian nation, I took the kids on the streets with the hope he was happy till I heard him say, "You're worthless."
Well, what can we do? We're under uncertainty and some trying times.
You know what I sometimes do? Look back on the better times. I was built in 1992, and 21 years later, in 2013, I jokingly told the whole yard that I'm 21 years old and I'm ready for my first drink. Then a signal maintainer comes out of the office, cracks open a bottle of champagne, and pours it all over my walkways. That was a good time.
Wow, sounds like a fun-loving guy. I still remember a time in June of 2011, I said to the engineer, "It's the hottest day of the year, why in the name of the Duquesne Incline are you wearing a jacket?" He said, "Just in case the wind gets too chilly." Later, when going down the line, my engineer says, "Hey, don't open the window, I have the air conditioning on." My conductor replies, "Cold, man." My engineer says, "If you're cold, put on a jacket." Conductor says, "Take yours off." Then the engineer says, "I already got mine on." And then my conductor says, "Do I have to take you to court for unfair working conditions?" Then engineer says, "Would you mind waiting until after we arrive at King of Prussia?" 1 second later he says, "All right," then shuts off the AC. The laughter and the recalling of pleasant memories continued until the next day. But then it died. This isn't working. It won't save us in the end.
We don't know if we'll be saved or not. There's just no telling.
Well, whether we make it through this or not, at least we had a good long run. Some engines like the UP-SD90 Mac-H's barely saw a decade of service. Kinda same with how the Amtrak HHP-8s were barely 15 years old when they were retired. They were supposed to replace the AEM-7s in addition to the E60s, but then the Hippos had mechanical trouble of their own, so the Toasters held on until sometime after the ACS-64s arrived. Several days had passed with the engine sitting and rotting away, except for Theseus and the engines behind him, who were taken on a storage move to Altoona. At last, 3 locomotives showed up.
Cowboy like him, it could be anything. She always expected the worst in the back of her mind.
Now hold it right there. Where do you think you're going?
Do you really need to know?
Never mind. We still go by the Geneva Convention.
I've been away too long. I never got a chance to ride a car. I know this rodeo's been hard on us all, but I'll be home soon. And honey,
May, Sean, Holmes, you made it.
Yup, we came to help.
What's the point? Even if we go back to NS, there's nothing left there. Just modern powers doing the work, many of us doomed to deadlines or sales, and PSR has already made a big fool out of the railroad as a whole.
So what? You can look for a new railroad to work for.
he said, I'm sorry it's come down.
You know, good luck with that. Unless, of course, another albeit smaller railroad or a leaser specifically buys you. You're not like humans who work to a certain age and then live a happy retirement. You work as long as you need to until the railroad has no further use for you. Ever heard of the Susan B. Anthony quote, "I don't want to die as long as I can work. The minute I cannot, I want to go."
He left that phone dangling off the hook, then slowly turned.
Luckily, Australia doesn't have it. I don't like it. But you know what they say? Work smart, not hard.
Oh, PSR is neither.
And you were the one who let those engines in.
Do you really think we have to go by the book?
A little luck, he could still get there in time.
Hey, are you guys okay? Say, 3421, have we met before?
If you're ex-Conrail, it's quite possible. But if we have, it's been ages. I'm Nicholas. Behind me is Lily. Does that ring a bell?
Well, no.
Nicholas and Lily spent the day telling about their life stories and many of their recent adventures. From the time Nicholas saved Lily from a court case, the times they had misadventures with a ghost seeing locomotive, the time Lily saved Nicholas from the snow, all the way up to now. Lily began telling them about her imposter when an Amtrak P-42 with the number 190 arrived.
Oh no. Is that engine me and Nicholas had fishy feelings about the whole time? Most other engines call her Anna, but she says her name is Lily, just like me.
Oh no. I do remember her. And a couple times I've been hallucinating and mistook her for you.
do you mean?
Like when I first met the other Lily for real back in 2013, I thought she was a beauty. I guess because when she passed by, I was thinking about the other times your intermodal overtook my locals. And then I ended up telling the wrong story to Barry a couple years ago. It didn't take me until 2013 to meet you. I met you within a week of you being built, and you were the most gorgeous sight I've ever seen, and you still are.
Well, that's sweet of you. But how can you confuse her with me? We look nothing alike.
I don't know. I guess I couldn't think straight and my mind drifted to Anna. Plus with that fight we had before Barry told me his tale, I was still recovering. And right before Anna and I officially met, we also had an argument I wasn't over with. But do you want to hear the true story of how we met?
Ah, here comes Lily.
Whoa, baby. Look at that pretty angel right there.
Sounds to me like someone's in love.
You know what? I think you're right.
Well, don't just stand there. Go talk to her.
As long as it was deep, yeah. Always knew to carry well. And you look so fancy, I can tell.
Hi.
Hello.
You know, do you wanna,
You're so funny when you stutter. I'm Lily. This is my 3rd day here.
Ah, Lily. What a beautiful name. I'm Nicholas.
Thanks. You have a nice name too. Well, see you later.
Lily, wait! I want to tell you something. It's not very easy to make it come out, but I like you. You're beautiful. My heart melted to jelly when I took my first glance. Love at first sight.
You're sweet. Bye, Nicholas.
I kinda lose my mind, yeah. It's not the perfume that you wear. It's not the ribbons in your hair. I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time.
Good job, Nicholas. You knocked it out of the ballpark.
Oh, love birds.
Make fun of me all you want, I take no shame.
So how come you think she's more beautiful than Sally Field while the Everdash agent was no different or just over engines?
I don't know. There's something about her that us engines see through. I want to get to know her better. I haven't seen her full persona yet, but I feel like I'm gonna like it. And sure enough, I did.
Speaking of which, you might have thought I was just another ordinary locomotive, but to tell you the truth, I've been trying to pass myself off as Lily. Sometimes when I visited Highland Valley, I checked the roundhouse to see if Nicholas was there and you were out of the way. Then I did my best to get Nicholas to forget about you and think about me instead, but that failed. And one more thing, I'm not Lily. My name has been Anna this whole time. I went under the alias Lily to make you look like a flop. You sleazy traitor. That's one of the most dastardly things an engine could do.
I'm disgusted by your actions, fake Lily. You make the CSX Lily look like an angel. At least she didn't try to break my bonds with my Lily.
And by the way, I've been vigilant of everything you've been doing while I've been around.
You are a disgrace to Amtrak. I knew Naval was bad, but you're far worse. Of course you don't know what it was like to have suffered from precision scheduled railroading, because your government controlled the railroad that has different standards. Also, not only is your kind to eventually be replaced by those Siemens ALC 42s, but your friend Lily has also suffered, as CSX has retired her.
I know that, and I'm going to save her, then we will both eliminate you guys. Just what do you think will stop me?
This.
The GP40-2 charged forward. Anna realized too late she was on a crossover. She tried to move out of the way, but the Jeep plowed into her, derailing himself but forcing her off the rails. The force of the derailment was so powerful that Anna's fortified fuel tank couldn't withstand it. In less than a minute, the P-42 was ablaze.